Hey, it's Don McLaughlin, founder of the Growth Reset, and I want to dive in today on how we define success. It's something that I've alluded to and that I think is really important to consider because if we don't carefully consider what success means to us, we run the risk that we can undermine and threaten all the hard work that we've put in to create the success that we've realized in life thus far. And what I mean specifically is that, I think for high performers, high achievers, we can develop an unhealthy relationship with success, and it shows up in this way. We'll have certain outcomes that we attribute to and believe will be our experience of success. And yet, in my experience, my client's experience, what can often happen is that we move those goalposts, and that what we define as success is often shifting and changing, and we're left with sort of pursuing the next thing and never really truly feeling successful. And it took me going to my lowest moment to realize that I had this very unhealthy relationship with success because it was so driven by outcomes, and yet at the same time I was constantly moving the goalposts of what those outcomes would be in terms of growing larger as a company or achieving against certain milestones, and likewise achieving some great milestone. If we've tied our feelings of success to a particular big milestone and then we achieve it, what are we left with? Well, we're left with the risk that we feel empty and just sort of rudderless. So what I'd invite is what I experienced, and I encourage my clients, and that is to shift that outcome-driven view of success to instead focus on what we're engaged with, how engaged we are in our work, and how fulfilled we are in our work. And that engagement looks like being committed to our work for its own sake, that the work itself is the reward. And so much of that is the service that we're providing in the form of our leadership, in the form of what our businesses provide to its end customers and clients. And if we can gauge our level of how engaged we are as a measure of success, I think we can again avoid the pitfalls that I described earlier with an outcome driven definition of success. And the second dimension is feeling fulfilled, using that as a measure of how successful we view ourselves. And that is certainly informed by, in my experience, how aligned we feel with the mission and vision that we have for our lives and our businesses that I've alluded to before. And if you feel like you're fully engaged but not feeling fulfilled, my hunch is that it's because there's not that clear mission and vision that you feel aligned with that's really heartfelt. And in my own experience, I found myself at the age of 43 broken, wide open, because while I was fully engaged in my business, I wasn't aligned with it. And in that way, I actually wasn't really engaged because I had constantly been changing the milestones to determine what success looked like. And then I was feeling unfulfilled. and grew even cynical. And I think, as I've talked about before, I experienced periods of severe anxiety and depression, clinical depression. And I think it was situational, tied to this dynamic. And so learned painfully the importance of really getting aligned around how engaged I am in my work and how fulfilled I am in it as a true measure of success. And I'll talk about in an upcoming post what it takes to really have that compelling mission and vision. And it's tied directly to our purpose, which again may sound very cliche, but I think it's so easy to overlook, both in our lives as leaders and also in our business, to be very, very clear and pulled forward by a compelling purpose that shows up in the form of a mission and a vision, again, both for our business, but also our life overall. So look forward to diving in on that topic. In the meantime, I wish you all the best.